I'm Nikki Gordon. I've been with Olsen Cruise Lines for 2 years. I am the CRM manager and I head up the CRM team, and we are working on the CRM transformation strategy. So at Olsen Cruise Lines, we are a small fleet of cruise ships. The smaller ships means that we are able to sail into smaller waterways such as the heart of Norwegian fjords. We are predominantly a UK sailing business, so guests can start their holiday from the UK and we sail them to far-flung destinations. At any one time we can have around 2,000 people employed, and it's probably the people that helps make Olsen Cruise Lines so special, and it's that intimacy that we are able to create on board the ships that means that our crew can offer that real personalised service. So Olsen Cruise Lines has got very rich maritime history. We've actually been sailing for 175 years, which started with the 3 Olsen brothers. And it's that rich maritime history that helps us to really understand exactly what it is that our guests are looking for. We're always looking at how we can innovate those itineraries to really allow our guests to be travellers, not just tourists. Olsen Cruise Lines uses CRM Plus, which is a bundle of applications covering sales, marketing and service. Our CRM transformation strategy is to have a 360-degree view of our guest. We have a database of our guests and we know what cruises they've booked on, but we need to go deeper into that understanding of our guest. A booking is incredibly complex. We need to know which dinner sitting they're on, which tours they've booked, whether they have any accessibility challenges, so that we can really personalise the service that the guests receive on board. We have had a customer database that was closely linked to our cruise operating system. We had that for a number of years. It was 2019 when the business made a decision that actually we probably need to update the software that we were using, because whilst that database was serving a very good operational purpose, it was not necessarily giving us the insights that we needed in order to accelerate the marketing campaigns that we were wanting to distribute. And also we wanted to go that step further in curating our itineraries. So we went to the market, looked at what the options were, and the decision was made that Zoho would be the best fit for us, mostly because of how malleable it is as a product. We have a cruise operating system that would continue to be in situ, and it was important that we had a CRM that would complement that cruise operating system. So it was 2019 that the research was done. Of course, March 2020, we went into lockdown. It was really hard on the cruise industry. Our ships were laid up. When we were gathering our requirements, the COVID outbreak, it took over everything, and it almost made us forget what those real life circumstances were. And it made it really difficult to understand exactly what our requirements were and what we were hoping to achieve. The first thing that I wanted to really look at was what the CRM was delivering, and actually whether Zoho was the right product for us. So I went along to Zoholics, which was an incredible opportunity to really learn about Zoho as a brand and about the products. And it was there that I met A2Z Cloud, who are a premium Zoho partner. They were really interested to understand our CRM journey and how we had constructed our current suite and what we would potentially be looking at doing to improve. We, in detail, wrote up our CRM requirements, exactly back to basics. What did we need it to do? A blank canvas. So they worked really closely with us in the requirement stage, but because of the complexity of the business, that we have shoreside users right the way through to our shipside team, we needed to make sure that that all tied in together so that we are creating this lens through which we can truly understand our guest data all the way through to that detailed booking data. The key that we had to achieve here was every user being able to see that consistent 360-degree view of the guest, from personal information right the way through to the booking segments of every single booking, whether that be a current booking or a historical booking. The cruise industry is ever changing, and a big part of that is our business intelligence and how we learn from our guests. We were challenged previously in really being able to understand what a guest liked about certain itineraries, certain experience on the cruise, and how we then use that data in order to drive forward our itinerary planning for future. We do really rely on our guests' feedback and understanding what went well and what perhaps we need to do differently. Our business intelligence team, via our data warehouse, had some challenges in being able to again pull data from certain places. We had a number of sub-forms within the CRM previously, which again was incredibly challenging in order to bring that data together. The process of creating our new CRM instance meant that A2Z Cloud needed to work really closely with the developers of our cruise operating system, and they were brilliant in bringing that relationship together. A big part of that was how the API calls needed to be amended in the way that we were previously sending the data into the CRM, actually sending it all into the new CRM modules. Those updated API calls enabled the CRM to consistently have that real-time window showing us everything about the guest and their booking. Our senior leadership team continually look at ways that we can improve our product, improve the service that we're offering to the guest. And of course, we need reports. And previously, that was another thing that was challenging, that we could deliver 70% of the core data, the statistics. Now that we're in this new instance, the reporting is so much easier because everything is within CRM. Everything is knitted together in the right way from those parent modules into those sub modules. So our senior leadership team, our heads of departments have access to various reports, whether they are delivered from Zoho CRM or Zoho Analytics on an automation, a few days after a cruise has arrived home, for example. They are accessible in self-service dashboards where we utilise user drop-down fields. An awful lot of our rich data is captured on board the ships, but a lot of the decisions are made shoreside. We would capture detailed insights through our guest services daily log, which was a shared spreadsheet, shared each day on board through the key departments, so housekeeping, food and beverage, guest services, and this would detail incidents reported to us from our guests. So not necessarily a complaint, it could be that there was perhaps a fault in the bathroom or that guests needed to change something to do with their dining. Having to work through this log as an offline piece of data was incredibly challenging. Getting these logs ship side to shore side in real time meant that we were a little bit delayed in being able to really get on top of any of these incidents, understanding any trends, looking at what we needed to do to prevent them in the future. We now have put the guest services daily log as a live function within Zoho CRM that the guest services team here on board the ships are able to complete in real time. So a guest reports an incident, it's recorded against both the booking and the guests. We use pick list categories so that we can segment the data, and we'll go through any incidents that are open. So that then makes sure that all of the departments know what follow-ups they need to do. At the end of each cruise, we like to look at what has been successful, what we can change, what we can look at to continually improve what we're doing. And part of that work is assessing that guest services daily log at the end of each cruise. The great thing now about how we have introduced the log into the CRM means that we can segment by category and by reason, so that every department can then access the data that is truly relevant to them. We can then also use this data to show us any trends. Since we've been enjoying our new CRM instance, our marketing department have noticed some significant improvements. Our direct mail campaigns, previously we would have sent those as quite a wide net campaign, trying to capture all potential guests. Now that we can segment our data and deliver much more targeted campaigns, it has meant that we have, one, reduced the amount of printing that we're doing by 68%, which is a really important thing for us as a business where we're always looking to be sustainable. But equally, by reducing the cost for us, it's meant that we have increased the ROI, particularly on a recent campaign that we've done, where last year we did the same campaign and we targeted 115,000 addresses. The campaign that we ran this year, we only sent it to 42,000 addresses, but we still achieved the same amount of revenue. Once the guest arrives home, we like to understand how enjoyable was their cruise. What can we learn from our guests' insights? The process of sending the welcome home survey to our guests is driven out of Zoho CRM. The email is automated and sent to the guests one day after they arrive home. We capture the NPS score as the first question, and then once they have pressed submit, it redirects the guests to complete our 10-question welcome home survey. Once they have clicked that one question within the email, that score is actually written to both the guest record and the booking record. And this allows us to recognise whether the guest is a detractor, a passive, or a promoter, and whether they will be looking to rebook with us in the future. For guests that go on to complete the full welcome home survey, we ask them how the itinerary lived up to their expectations, how they rated their food, if they had a good time. That helps us determine how we curate our future itineraries. So if the itinerary didn't quite live up to their expectations, we dive deeper into the qualitative data that we're capturing and try to understand why. We've created Zoho survey reports, and we've created a NPS dashboard that the ships have access to in real time. So whilst we want to recognise as a business how successful Fred Olsen Cruise Lines is, what we really need to understand is the NPS score per ship and also per cruise. Our overall NPS score for the business is currently sat at 57, which is actually an increase of 2 points from where we were this time last year. We've recently introduced Zoho marketing automation into our software stack. It's been an opportunity to learn so much more about the customer journey and how we want to communicate to our guests, both pre-arrival and post-departure. What marketing automation allows our marketing team to do is truly segment those customer journeys. So using specific triggers, whether they are date-driven, previous destinations, previous durations, it's then determining the type of campaigns that we are sending out. And the great thing about marketing automation is that it just sits nicely underneath of the rest of the CRM data. When a guest arrives home, they will receive a welcome home email where we offer them an incentive to book their next cruise. To drive this marketing campaign previously, this was a very manual task using VLOOKUPs within Excel. It was a very laborious process. So by automating this campaign through marketing automation, it's meant that it's been really seamless in the process. During and after a campaign has been sent, we can regularly monitor our open rates and our click rates so that we can see how successful a campaign has been, and we can even tie it back to our booking data. We can see directly from within a campaign which bookings we can attribute it to. A2Z Cloud have been integral in our CRM journey. We've really been able to utilise their expertise, whether it be our account manager Paul, who's always been there on hand to help us brainstorm ideas, from their technical developers who have delivered a really robust seamless tool. A2Z Cloud have become an extension to the Fred Olsen Cruise Lines family. They are our colleagues as much as a partner, and we would not be as successful as we are on our CRM journey without their support.
I'm Paul Whitelock. I'm a senior account executive at A2Z Cloud.
Hi, I'm Tega Johannes Agoro. I'm a business engineer at A2Z Cloud.
We're the premium partner in the UK for Zoho. We work with companies of all sizes, from startup scale-ups right up to large enterprises like Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. We had an inbound inquiry from Nikki at Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. She had met some of the team at Zoholics. It was more stripping back the requirements to see exactly what they had in situ, what pain points they were actually suffering with, and how we could best alleviate them to deliver the most value for them. A lot of that was really focusing on the outcomes of what they were trying to achieve, because Fred Olsen are very driven around personalization and making sure that the customer is at the focus all the way through. So we really had to then strip back the CRM system to focus to make sure each of the data points were captured at the right point of the process, and we were able to identify some areas where it was currently falling short and then improve that.
It's been fun working with Fred Olsen. It's more the fact we're actually partners, or I'll say co-workers, so there's a good synergy between the two companies.
So one of the best things about working with Zoho is the fact that it comes as a completely blank book, so you can customize it to the nth degree, and the only limitations are your imagination. Especially with the size and capacity of Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, it's the real breadth of applications. So we can permeate in every area of the business and have technical, quite complex solutions that deliver real impact and value. Whether that's surveys, we're delivering customer service, we're doing marketing, we're holding booking information. There's a whole plethora of applications already deployed, and we're only looking to deepen that relationship further. Seeing tangible results for increased NPS scores, better traction within marketing, and the return on investment is really good for someone in account management like myself.
And you can see how many NPS responses have come in. It's not only beneficial for Fred Olsen, it's also beneficial for A2Z, and it's also beneficial as a learning curve.
You have to keep on top of continuous professional development. We've got an in-house training and development team. However, we need to make sure that that team continues to be well informed with the changes that are within the system and what changes are due to come. We are very lucky that A2Z Cloud will support us with any of those training needs that we have. Zoho as a platform has been an incredible advantage to us as a business, and the people that we have been fortunate enough to work with, whether it be technical support in India, whether it be the UK-based team, they feel like an extension to our workforce.